Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It is White Rice Wednesday, which means time for my Survivor recap. So to recap on tonight's episode, it is the merge. So congrats to everybody who made the merge. I mean, whether you like the people or you don't, it's a huge accomplishment to make the merge. So it's not a normal merge. Like, what basically happens is they have to... Jeff splits them into two different tribes, and they have to draw a rock, and the person who draws the gray rock can go to either tribe, and that means if they win, they'll go on the merge feast. If they lose, they lose. So whoever wins, you know, gets the merge feast and buffs and everything, and the ones who lose go to tribal council. So technically there's about 6 people that have individual immunity tonight. So it's basically this big obstacle course. Like, they had to get these sandbags on this post, and then they had to get this wagon and go to each station and get these big boxes to form a staircase. Then they had to get a key. Then they had to get up this big ramp and solve this word puzzle. And I seriously thought they were going to call a medevac because Carla really hurt her hand bad, and she said she couldn't move it. So I'm thinking, oh my God, is it broke? Like, I mean, I'm sure they did something like clean the blood up or something, but wow. It ended up being Blue that is safe from the vote tonight. So that is Janine, Carla, Gabler, Noelle. Those are the 4 I could think of off the top of my head. I really should have took better notes on that. But yeah, so back at camp, there's a lot of names being thrown out there. James's name is being thrown out. Why? I don't know. Maybe because they think he's physically strong, and now that it's an individual game, they think he might win individual challenges. Cassidy's name was thrown out for God knows what reason. I think Gabler's name came up too. But at the merge feast, Gabler told everybody that Ellie looked through his bag. And it's the truth. She did look through his bag, but then she's trying to do damage control and try to confront him, saying, I didn't look through your bag. I don't know where you got this information from. And he said, I got it from Sammy. So she's confronting Sammy and Owen, saying that, did you tell them I looked through his bags? I didn't do that. I'm like, it's clear as day you did that. And Janine is like, oh my God, I cannot believe he threw her under the bus like that. I'm like, are you shocked? Like, you both went through his bag. You don't think that was going to come up and bite you in the ass at some point? So Ellie and Janine are scrambling. And what I like that they had this big score, kind of like a scoreboard looking thing, like who has advantages, who doesn't. So Gabler has an idol that can only be used, this is the last time he could use it. Janine has an idol, Carla has an idol, and Cody has an idol. Jesse cannot vote, and Janine cannot vote at this tribal council. So the other name that was thrown out was Cody, because, you know, he's a threat. I mean, if any, all the other names I don't get, but Cody, I could see why, because he's likable and he's good in the challenges. But then when somebody told Ellie that Cody has made a hat with the beads, she knew then that Cody has an idol. So that makes sense, because if you hear that information, you're going to want to try to flush that idol. So having Cody's name come up makes perfect sense. Cassidy and James, it doesn't make any sense why. I mean, the only reason I could think of is because if Baca and Vessi, you know, join together and they want to get out Coco, that's the only reason I could see, so they could keep numbers. So it's basically doing damage control. And Janine said that, you know, if she feels that Ellie's name's coming up or she's in trouble, that she'll play the idol for her. And I'm thinking, will she really? So you get the tribal council, and it's talking about how it's a different game right now than now that it's a merge, and talking about who you can trust out there and how you basically can't trust anybody but yourself. And Ellie brought up how her name was thrown under the bus again, and that she had to basically, you know, scramble to try to clear her name and lie. And it seems like people are seeing right through Ellie, and it seemed like it worked because Ellie ended up getting sent home. Ellie was in a lot of my drafts, but as I watched it, I'm like, oh, I do not like Ellie that very much. And the reason being, though, it's one thing to lie in a game of Survivor, but it's another thing to not own up to it. Like, there's people out there that, I mean, granted, some people aren't going to admit, yeah, I lied about this, but clearly people know what she did, and she lied about it, and they could see how she's trying to work people and everything, so they know that she needed to go. And I think even though she was in my drafts and one of my main picks, I feel like that they made the right call. And Jeanine and Ellie made the quintessential big mistake in Survivor, and that is to be recognized as a pair, because when you see that two people are very close together, what's going to eventually end up happening is one of you are going to be targeted, or in this type of merge situation, it could easily just split the votes between the two, because technically, let's say Jeanine wasn't safe tonight and they have the idol. If Jeanine thought Ellie was going to be in trouble, she could technically play the idol for Ellie, but then all those votes are going to go to Jeanine then. So, yeah, it would have been interesting to see, because Gabler was immune because he won the challenge, so his idol basically wasn't used at all. So I'm like, he technically could have used it on somebody, but I guess he felt like he couldn't use it on somebody, and there was no way in hell he was going to use it on Ellie. So next week's episode shows that it seems like Noelle's calling the shots. I don't really think she is. And then there's apparently something hidden in the shelter at camp, and they say it in front of Jeanine. I'm like, are you serious? You just saw her scrambling around with Ellie, now you're going to tell her? But it seems like a guy found it, though, so I'm wondering who found it. I'm telling you, if Gabler... It was implying that Gabler... That Gabler found it, but that's a little bit too easy. So if Cody finds it, he'd be in a very good position, because he's got an idol, and this could be another idol, could be another advantage. We don't know yet. So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's merge episode of Survivor. If you want to check out my Survivor recaps, I do them every Wednesday. But if you want to watch Survivor, it is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS, or you can stream it on Paramount Plus. Till next time, stay regal.